and welcome back. I'm your host, David Attenborough. If you're wondering if we're going to talk about the wealth gap, you'd be right. First off, we look at the top 49%, the upper middle class.
See, what I was thinking, Governor, was that if we put more money over here, we have more money over there. And with money, we can equate that, the trans-liquid property, into power. And power can do wonders, both for us and for the poor. You don't have the poor. Have the poor, it'd be great. It'd be great if we had the poor. Wouldn't it?
Now, for the next class, those top 1%ers.
I don't have anything in common with you.
And last, but certainly not least, not the least, the bottom 50%. Sex, money, and alcohol.
So I was listening to a philosophy YouTube discussion on Karl Marx versus Darwin. And it was good, and it was interesting, and it has kind of been actualizing some of the questions and fears I've been feeling. And it popped into my head, hey, what even is the data on the wealth distribution? You know, the classic Bernie Sanders, the 1%ers, which has become a meme that has been funny. But I never actually looked at it for myself. And that's what's on the screen. We're going to go through a little bit of it. Oh my god. Where's my mouse? Let's do percent. How do I do percent? Here. Okie dokie. So, this is America. This is the United States. As of 2020, updated, I think, October 21st, if I recall how the financial system flips by the quarterly. So the top 1%, 30%. That's a whole lot. 90 to 99% of the population, that sector, that 10%, 9% sector. Except it depends if it's inclusive. No, that's 10. That's 10. 0 is inclusive. 38%, which, hell, if we want to, we can look at how much actual coin that is, and it's a lot. And then 50 to 90%, which is many, many, many more human beings, is 29%. That's the delightfully, I don't know why they chose these colors, but they did. And then the bottom 50% is 2%. Now, I don't know if that's poverty line. I don't know how bad that is. I mean, we know it's half the population in the U.S. Splitting up $2 trillion. Which, fuck it. Quick maths. 100, there's like we're going to say it's 175 million. Shit, I got to write 2 trillion. Trillion's one more than a billion, so billion, million, thousands. Is that right? This is not going to be correct. Okay, if I didn't fuck up, which I could have, it's $11,000 per quarter? Per quarter. So that'd be $40,000 a year? That's livable. Okay, I'm not, this is speculative. This is like very much, like, is that the right number of zeros? If it's not, this entire thing's bogus. As far, and to some extent, this is not about purchasing, can you live, but can you affect the vote, right? Because we all know this is not it will be, because all things will be, but it's not that controversial to think of as voting as a pay-to-win type situation. It is. And that's, I mean, just when I first looked at the graph, I was like, well, where's the 50%? I can't see it. Where is it? It's that. So let's I think this is essentially, yeah, this is very much the, okay, so it's a little bit more diverse. Let's do percent, I think is easier to see. Okay, so actually I haven't seen this. So there's this difference between wealth and income. That's interesting. Huh. I haven't seen this yet. Why do they shift? That's so confusing. They shift everything by 10, so you can't like one-to-one correlate anything. I mean, it's not noticeably better by my observation. So this is another so some of this is confusing because you sort of automatically fill in data that's not there. You know, so what this is saying is the wealth by the amount of education, not how many people. It's like what percent of the population in the U.S. has a college education, no high school. This graph doesn't give us that fact. Correct. It just says if you have some college, then you're in the you possess, you and all your buddies who had some college but not all college have 16.6% of the wealth in the United States, estimated by the Federal Reserve. I don't have any opinion about the Federal Reserve. I'm not an expert, but I do find it interesting that a lot of intelligent people are all gung-ho about cryptocurrencies, in large part because they are they don't give a damn about the Federal Reserve. So that's interesting to me. Definitely a trail I would like to follow further. So yeah, I mean, this pretty much says like, hey, you only have a high school education, you are a second-rate citizen. Which again, we're not making a statement on what should or shouldn't. We're just looking at the data, and I'm just shocked. It's funny, I have an uncle who did not go to college, so he's, you know, in that yellow zone, and that man is loaded, like multiple Lamborghinis and that sort of. The guy owns a yacht, like a literal. What is this age? 70%. Sorry, not 7%. Age. This is age. 70 years old, which is old. Not to like be a dick, but that's old. Like, you got health problems, you got mental problems at that point. You know, a lot of people can't drive at that point. However, a whole lot of people, I know quite a few of them, are very with it, even at that age, or even past that age, like 90 plus. They're witty people. So not a hard and fast rule, as all things with stats and data are. So 55 to 69 percent got 43% of the wealth. 40 to 54, 24%, and 40 years old, which is old. I'm 25. You know, 50. You know, I have 15 years to gain wealth. That's a funny term. That I would even be passing over the border to age 41, I guess, is when I would leave that zone. Or under 40, whatever. Semantics. 6%. 6%. And how many 25 to 30-year-olds is that under 40%? You know, if it was 25 and below, would it be 0.1%? We don't know. That information is not present in this graph. And again, if we consider voting as a pay-to-win, you know, a monetary competition, which it's not entirely, and I don't even know how to search for data on that. If you know, please link it. I would be fascinated to find out If that were the case, then goodness gracious, if you're under 40 years old, you're screwed. You're less than a minority. So that's really bad. Generation, it's essentially the same thing. If it loads, it loaded. If you're young, you're screwed. Not you're screwed, but you were, I don't know, maybe you are screwed. I don't know. That's the data. If you're young, statistics show that you were probably broke in comparison to those elderly folk. Oh. All right, let me quick race US distribution. Is anyone else just... You can still see this, right? Yeah, okay. Give me a graph. So non-Hispanic, white. Hispanic, so... everyone's talking about black people. Why are they talking about black people? 4%. 13%. 60%. 83%. Is it culture? Is it genetics? I don't fucking know, but that's a lot. That's a fucking lot. I mean, that's, depending on how you scale stuff, orders of magnitude, which, I didn't even look at the other. I mean, obviously, other is, it's other, it's indeterminate, without further magnification. But Hispanic, what's, oh, wow, that's worse. What the hell? Oh, I didn't even notice. Great. So they make up 18% of any race. I don't know what that means. I don't know damn shit about race and ethnicity. I don't care. Can you think? Do you care? That's all I want to know. Not where you're from. 2%, 2.4%, 18.5%. I think this was the last one. Yeah. And this is other stuff that I did not do well in accounting class, so a lot of this is only mildly meaningful to myself. This is from the years 2005 to 2020, updated the second quarter, whatever that, October, so very recently. That's the data. And this is population. This is by number. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna look some more at some stats. Is this, because there's a few questions. One, I don't know which is more important, but one of them is this a livable wage? Now, livable depends on how many kids you have and the living expenses and inflation and other stuff, so that's not necessarily an easy answer. And then the second question is voting power, which, again, I'm sure that there are studies on this, and I'd love to look at them. I never have before, which is not great, on how much money affects election outcomes, both, presidency, but more discreet than that. Discreet? What's the word I'm looking for? Specific, more local, local stuff and Senate and all that sort of thing. So, holy cow, man. I don't know what to do with this. And I don't know. Let's go slow. I'm not sold on Marxism, on socialism, on communism, nor pure Darwinism, Ayn Rand, whatever. Keynesian, Adam Smith, not Morgan Freeman, Martin. I can't remember the guy's name. Another conservative dude. So that was a bit heavy, a bit stressful, a bit much, a bit heady, etc. Andrew Yang is a guy who seems pretty cool, which is a nice start. He's got a hat that says math, because math is cool, and girls will like you. Subscribe here. Smash the Patreon. Feel free, but it was a poor joke. So, the UBI thing, Universal Basic Income, is one proposed solution to the wealth gap thing, which, is that even a problem? Well, did a bit more searching into that. Again, not sufficient, but some, which I've included in links below, with 2 economists and 1 finance guy who has some opinions on some stuff that we're not going to talk about, but objectivism, and a common theme between a lot of these people, and including Ray Dalio, who has spoken a lot about economics in general, and in particular the wealth distribution issue. It's an issue. Pretty non-partisan, depending on who you ask. I'm not an expert, but enough people who are see this as a big issue. It's pretty interesting. We're going to move on. The show is not going to continue on this one rabbit hole, or just climate change, or this, that, or the other. For the most part, we're going to circle around subjects of artificial intelligence, which is to say, decision-making processes. For instance, we need to talk about GANs. Because they're really scary, and I don't think we have any way to deal with them, but people like Dawn Song, legend that she is, and others, are working on keeping society intact with those around.